Welcome students, it is the day 4 and we are just about to finish this play on The Face of It by Suzanne Hill. And students, we have just ended scene 1, which was actually shot and which was actually written, and the setting of this particular play was all in the background of Mr. Lamb's garden. And now the background, the setting of the play has been changed, and now we have moved to Derry's house. It is scene 2 of this particular play. Now what happens? Actually what happens here, when we have just finished the scene 1, this, Mr. Lamb was talking to himself. He was talking to the bees that I have come here, and he thought that nobody will come here, even Derry will not come back, and Derry has actually left Mr. Lamb's garden. So now Derry enters the house. So all of you please pay attention. Page 61, scene 2, Derry's house. Mother: you think I don't know about him? You think I have not heard things? So mother said, you don't know. I knew it. That where were you? Derry, you should not believe all you hear. So Derry said, no, you should not believe what all you hear. So see, there is a change in perception. As the Derry had entered into the house, there is a slight change in Derry's perception. Now he is not bothering the fact that what people talk behind his back. Mother: be told, warned, we have not lived here 3 months, but I know what there is to know, and you are not to go back there. So mother is really getting very concerned about Derry, about her child, and she said that, it's been really 3 months, and I know where to go, what to do, what not to do, what to believe, what not to believe. So it's all right, but you don't have to go back there. Derry: what are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg, and he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden, and I want to be there and sit and listen to things. Listen and look. See students, this particular dialogue delivered by Derry is very, very important here, because Derry is actually getting argumentative with his mother for the very first time. It is not only the negative argument, it is a very positive argument, because he is taking his stand. He is not, he's just going to believe in himself now. There is a change in his outlook, there is a change in his perception now. And he said that you feel that he's the only man. He describes everything that, yes, there is an old man, he lives without curtains, but I really like to be there. I like to listen. I will love to go back there, and I will enjoy the things. Mother: listen to what? Derry: bees singing, him talking. Mother: and what he's got to say to you? Derry: things that matter, things nobody else has ever said, things I want to think about. And Derry said, he is my real friend, because he is the one who had just told me number of things which I really wanted to hear from other people. But unfortunately, nobody has told me these things earlier in my life. So see, I told you, Derry, in fact, is a fine lad of 14 years old, and definitely being a normal human being, he wants to love, and he really wants to be loved back. And this sort of love was actually given by, this sort of compassion and care was actually given by Mr. Lamb to Derry, and that's why he's so happy now, and he really wants to be in the company of Mr. Lamb. He's missing it actually. Mother: then you stay here and do your thinking. You are best of here. And mother said, no, it will be better for you to stay here. You don't have to go somewhere and think whatever you think. Derry: I hate it here. And Derry said, no, I don't want to be isolated. I really want to be in company of him. I like little things in my life, and I really hate it there. Mother: you can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things and say them. I don't blame you. And mother says, it's fine. I know that you have to self-pity yourself. I know your life is worse, and it is going to be worse than ever. So, it's fine. I don't blame you. See, mother is also giving a lot of pity to Derry, and Derry is really becoming aggressive about it, because he hates being like that, being treated by like. And one important thing which is very remarkable to note here, that we must also, treat everyone equal. Despite a person is having some physical disability, physical impairment, we must also treat them equally. Derry: it's got a thing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that, and it is not important. It's what I think and feel, and what I want to see and find out in here. Please underline these lines, students. It's what I think and feel. He said, now see, there is a sense of self-love and care in Terry, and sees that it's important for me. It is not at all important for me what other people think about me, what other people care about me. It is it is I who am going to, and I'm going to decide whether what I want to see, what I want to think, what I want to listen, and so on. And I'm going back there. And he says that I'm going to take a stand. I will be helping him, and I will be going there. Only to help him with the crab apples, only to look at things and listen, but I'm going. And definitely, he makes a decision and he says, no, you can't stop me. I will definitely go there. Mother, you will stop here. Terry, oh no, because if I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in this world again. And Terry says, no, nobody can stop me today, because I know if I'll stop here today, I will never be able to go back anywhere in my life. So the door slams, Terry runs panting. Panting means, breathlessness, because he's just running very fast just to help Mr. Lamb, just to catch the crab apples, and he just slams the door, he pushes the door very hard, and he just runs from here, and he says, and I want the world, I want it, and he just shouts that I really want the world, I really desperately want it, I want to listen, I want to be in the company of Mr. Lamb, I want to enjoy my life, and he just leaves his house. Now student, the scene 2 ends here, and now we'll talk about the next scene, which is the concluding scene of this particular play, which is scene 3. So what happens? Scene 3 is actually also the setting of the play is being placed in Mr. Lamb's garden, and what happens here? See, Mr. Lamb garden sounds, the noise of a branch shifting, apples thumping down, the branch shifting again. So again the garden noises are there, number of bird songs, number of sound of the trees and leaves are there. Again it is a background of Mr. Lamb's garden, and beautiful sunny day is there. Mr. Lamb, steady, that's got it, that's it, more apples fall, and again that's it, and a creak, a crash, the ladder falls back, Mr. Lamb with it, a thump, the branch swishes back, creaks, then silence. Terry opens the garden gate, still panting. And Mr. Lamb is what? He had taken the ladder, he had just climbed the ladder, and he was with his stick and he was catching the crab apples, because he really wanted to make a jelly. And all of a sudden what happened? The ladder just falls down, and Mr. Lamb was all alone, because yes, he was all alone in his house, and he just falls on the ground, and there was a thumping sound, very harsh sound, and all of a sudden just Terry enters the gate, and he just got inside. Terry, you see, I came back, sorry. You said I wouldn't, and they said, but I came back, I wanted. And he said that, see, you said that I won't come back, but yes, I have come back. So now you have to believe me. He stops dead. Silence, and he's very startled, and there is a sheer silence in the garden, Mr. Lamb, he runs through the grass, stops, kneels. So what happens all of a sudden, he had run from like 3 miles, because his house was at a distant place, and he had reached Mr. Lamb's garden, and he just saw that Mr. Lamb is not speaking anything, and he had just fallen on the ground. So he just got really very startled and very much shocked, and he just goes and he just kneels on the ground. He took, took a rest on his knees, and he just started shouting that Mr. Please, Mr. Lamb, please got up and see, I've come here to help you. Mr. Lamb, it's all right, you fell, I'm here. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. But there is silence, and he said that, Mr. Lamb, I'm here, you get up please, I'm all here to help you. But Mr. Lamb doesn't speak anything. Mr. Lamb is a bit of silent. I came back, Laney Lamb, I did come back. Terry begins to. And what he finds out, that he started shouting, Mr. Lamb, I have come here, I've come here. But he just said, Laney Lamb, but he doesn't speak anything, and Mr. Terry starting weeping. Why Terry started weeping? Because Mr. Lamb has just fallen from the ladder, and Mr. Lamb is all dead. So definitely, students, this is the end of this play. But the conclusion, the climax of the play is a bit of harsh, it is a bit of a sad ending. But you know what, we should not expect happy endings every time, because that's the reality of life. And what this beautiful playwright Suzanne Hill wanted to tell us in the conclusion, that definitely, Mr. Lamb character was actually alone. But due to this human attraction and bondage, these two characters have merged into one. See, I told you there will be a unified bond, there will be something, there will be a certain bond between the two that is going to unite them the two. And what is that bond? We come to know from the conclusion that was a bond of physical disability. So yes, students, there is a bond which I was telling you again, that yes, there is a bond of physical disability and perception, which is very important. You know, a person actually might be physically impaired, or he might suffer from number of physical disability, but if a person is all alone, if a person is all isolated from the heart, if the perception of a person is very pessimistic, it is going to kill a person. What happens in the play, I'm just going to summarize, I'm just going to give you a quick recap of the chapter, that there are two characters in the play. One is Mr. Lamb, he's an old man and he owns a garden, and there is a little boy who is 14 years old. He just jumps into the garden wall. He did not anticipate that somebody will be there, but Mr. Lamb seems to be really welcoming in nature. He's a very kind-hearted, he's a very compassionate, he's very concerned character, but Derek is just not accustomed by such kind of behavior of a person, because he was not given such kind of behavior by anybody else in the world. But as their conversation just goes and it lingers on from time to time, Mr. Lamb, exemplifies, he gives him various examples, and he tries to quote, he tries to relate number of ordinary things of his life which are just not ordinary, which makes his perception extraordinary, and which makes his character, his story, moral lesson, or again I will repeat, a parable actually. So this is all about this particular play, and I hope this video, this detailed explanation is very informative to you. And now I will definitely be sending you some assignment to it, and I'm hoping forward, and I'll be looking for your work in this. Thank you and have a nice day.